Andrea, thank you so much for being here at IMEX. Now, you are a speaker. What did you speak on?
I spoke on a term I coined, Gracenotes. It's a message of mattering. You can also call it a eulogy for the living. I gave a TED Talk on it a couple years ago, actually during the pandemic, and it kind of went viral. And so bringing it to IMEX, what I find in having been in the event industry before myself, having owned a speakers bureau, is that the takeaway I've come to land on from being at IMEX and preparing for IMEX is that by definition, event planners, almost all of them, work behind the scenes. That is the work they do. They may be producers, they may be agents, they may be, of course, meeting planners, those who plan incentive travel. They are working on behalf of those who are in the spotlight, who get the attention, but they're toiling in a way that they are literally invisible. Most workers in the US, actually a third of them, according to surveys, feel invisible on any given day. But folks in the event industry, I think a key reason so many are burned out is because they're left feeling so invisible and unseen. Their work seems as if it's less significant because it's less visible. And so Gracenotes is integral as a tool to help them better understand the impacts they're making, impacts they probably don't even know they're making themselves.
So tell me exactly what is Gracenotes and how do we use them?
A Gracenote is a message of mattering, and I teach people why it's important to write a Gracenote. I believe that you shouldn't have to be dead to have your eulogy read. So when we know how we matter before we're gone, we can do more of the things that people see possible in us. We can know more of the impacts we're capable of making, things we're probably not even aware of because we feel invisible. And by knowing that, we gain clarity, we can live with more purpose and impact, and feel less burned out.
So how did you come up with this? Is there a personal tie-in to you wanting to be seen?
No, I wouldn't put it that way. I came to this idea because many years ago, long before my dad passed, and I tell this story in my TED Talk, he was featured in a hometown newspaper story, and the story described the ways he had contributed to our town. He was pretty visible, and he said when he sent the article to all of us kids, he said, well, it's better than having your eulogy read over your casket. And that planted a seed in me, and I thought, well, I'm going to write my dad a living eulogy so that he, from my point of view, understands how he matters to me. And honestly, I thought this was something that people did for one another. Well, yes, you're nodding your head. Yeah, they don't. It's so true. And so I realized that it is, in the parlance of TED, an idea worth spreading. And I think I wrote 25 drafts of the talk. I got rejected multiple times, but I finally was able to give the talk before the pandemic and during the pandemic. And I think because of COVID, people's hearts were brought more wide open, and they realized that life can end at any time. And so rather than wait till someone's passed to tell them how they matter to us, why do we wait so long? We need to do it now while we're all here so we can all live more meaningfully and know how we matter.
What a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I can't imagine what your dad and all the people that did receive this as what they felt. Did he say like how he felt?
He was pretty, he was a man of few words, but he was definitely moved by it. I still have the note he wrote to me afterwards. But more than that, it actually launched a global movement.
Yeah.
And I never would have ever in my wildest dreams imagined that.
Well, how do we apply this to the events industry? Because, we're walking around here in IMEX, and I know there's so many people, and I'm hoping that they are seen and they are appreciated. So how do we actually incorporate that?
Yeah, I'm all about practicality, because it's one thing to be inspirational, but we have to boil it down to an action step. And so I know everyone's beyond busy, so I want to make it super simple. And when I shared my remarks here at IMEX, I really made sure that folks understand it can take just 1 moment, 1 minute to express to someone how they matter. And I give them writing prompts that make it super easy. So rather than overthinking it, trying to write some poetry or some dissertation, simply filling in the blank of a sentence like this. You're the go-to person for such and such. When you walk in the room, there is more blank. Around you, others feel. Your secret weapon is. So those are just writing prompts that make it so easy for us to write 1 or 2 sentences that can change the course of a life. I do not say that lightly. I have story upon story of people who received a grace note at any age who are not only moved by the note, surprised by the note, but are changed by the note because it helps them to live a richer, more meaningful life that is more on purpose.
Andrea, thank you so much for doing what you do, and you uplift everyone around you. I so appreciate your heart and what you're doing here on this planet.
Oh gosh, thank you. It is the honor of my life.